Pop started doing this, and then I showed up around 2009 and was going through similar shit. So I started in with him because it resonated with me, obviously. And Second Class Citizen is built around the military guys originally and our suicide rates. But the primary thing was us fathers being removed from our children's lives.
Yes.
And it is an absolute epidemic in the United States of America.
And listen, they're going to pay for it because 5.1 individuals out of 1,000 are getting married at this time. At least that's the lowest number I found. I feel sorry for the paraplegic that they wheel into the church because the only thing working on him is his head and tongue. He's the 0.1. And he's like, you're going to take this woman? All right, he moved the stick left and right, so that's yes. And you're fucked.
Wow, that
I'm just saying.
Really came out of no.
Well, whenever I look at these like numbers,
how did we get all the way to Stephen Hawking that quickly?
Yeah, I know, but whenever I look at these numbers and like a 6.3, I'm like, who the fuck is the poor bastard that's a 0.3? Because it should be whole numbers, but that's statistics for it.
Here's the crazy thing, though. We covered this on the one show, Immigration Invasion, which was one of the segments of this, where our white population is actually stable and rising at the correct rate. So where are those babies come from?
Yeah.
Well, most of the answer is fatherless homes.
Correct. But listen, Chad and Pookie, Ray, they're bending over these idiot women and getting kids they're not going to take care of, and you're going to have to chase them around forever. All right. And listen, for every one guy that does that, there's probably 5 guys that can't see their kids that would literally shoot the Pope to have more time with their kids.
Yeah.
And then these other dudes are just having kids after kids after kids. These mothers don't know how to raise men. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now that if there's any single mothers out there watching, you're going to get upset at these words.
Don't care.
I don't care. You're a bunch of felony factories. And we're going to get through the stats here in a little while. But the prisons are packed with fatherless, perpetrators. Psych wards packed. Same thing. Drug addicts, rapists,
runaways.
The list goes on and on. Dropouts, the whole deal.
Dropouts. Yeah. My dad basically left when I was 13. I dropped out of high school after being sick of fighting when I was 17 and basically just worked and went to nightclubs and fought.
Well, you had to work it out.
All the time.
Yeah, had to work. Listen, we all go through that stage. Just got to work shit out.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, but here's the thing. This government of ours is so feckless that after putting all of these things into people's heads about women could do just fine by themselves. Look, I have nothing against women. I'm married. I love my wife dearly. I have a daughter. I love her to death. I'm very protective of her. It's the government and the schools and the entertainment industry that's turning our women into these things where they don't want to be part of a nuclear family. And that's the cornerstone of the entire civilization of the entire world of all human beings.
Yeah. Well, for all of human history, all of the successful civilizations had the family as the basic building block, and then the civilization was built off of that. Yep. We have been destroying a brick here, and we're watching the whole thing crumbling now. And when it goes into free fall, which it's probably going to happen shortly, because if you have been paying attention to the news, a lot of these senators and representatives are selling all their stock. They know that the market's going to collapse because they've been pumping it up. And on top of that, we're giving away our tax money to people who, in my opinion, don't fucking deserve it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have a boatload of homeless dudes out there. We got a boatload of homeless vets. How do I know this? After my divorce, towards the end and after it was done, I was literally living out of my car for a little over 6 months. I talked to these guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there is no safety net for men at all in our culture or in anywhere in the world.
Yeah. I came back to Michigan and I had my 8-year-old daughter with me, and I had been walking on wet sand over thin ice for quite a while, and it all went out from under my feet. I was about to be homeless with an 8-year-old little girl and nowhere to go, nowhere to put any of my shit. You know who saved me? That guy.
Thank you.
Terrence Pop saved my ass and gave me somewhere to put my head and my daughter just long enough that I could get everything back under me. So there you have it.
That's it.
Thank you.
Now, listen, men need to be safety nets for other men.
Yes.
Like I did a whole episode on masculinity in men. A good quality dude does not let other men around him fucking fail.
Yeah.
You don't just go, well, you're fucked. I mean, I've done this for 541 guys here. I read gratitude letters all the time. My nephew, like my sister, let my second oldest nephew sit at home for almost a year after he graduated high school playing video games. She files for divorce. They come live in the house that I own. And I tell my sister, if he doesn't have a job when I come back in 3 weeks on leave, it will go poorly for him. I'm a man of my word. I don't understand why they didn't really realize that I'm really going to tool this kid up if I come back here and he's not working. And sure as shit,
he's your blood. It's almost your job. It is your job.
It is my job. I flipped his bunk, slapped him in the head, threw a shirt on him, gave him a pen, and said, your job is finding a fucking job, and don't you dare come back until 6 p.m. He got a job like a week and a half later, working at Jets, and he became an assistant manager for the place. And after I watched him for a few years actually mature and stop thinking like
Probably
an idiot.
The best thing you ever did for him.
Yeah, I got him his license. I got him a fucking warehousing job, which with a lot of upward mobility, where you don't have to have a college education. You just have to be competent and willing to work. And that's the way America should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Pop and Dwarf, what the hell are you rambling on about? I'm getting to that.
Well, here's the thing. Fatherless homes make weak men. They do.
Yes.
Either they're weak or they're stupid and gullible, which is almost just as bad as being weak, because you could be 6'8", you could pick up the back of a car, but if I could fool you with words and make you not take action, what good is all of that power? It's gone. Yeah. And we're seeing that en masse across all of the men in this country. Why do you think they're going so hard after Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
The guy, listen, I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with most of what most people talk about.
But hell, I don't agree with you all the time.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. And granted, he did have a past, with cam girls and stuff. It wasn't illegal. All right. Now, I personally wouldn't engage. I wouldn't engage in that type of activity, but it is what it is. And I watched him just get nuked by the system, and I'm like, holy fuck. And the same thing is probably going to happen to him that happened to Gonzo Lira. Once he goes into the system, they're just going to kill him, because you can't have masculine men, setting the example and saying, hey, be defiant, be observant, have the ability to do critical thinking, and most of all, have the ability to say no and fucking mean it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. I'm sorry, you got me off in a tangent here.
I know, but this is all part and parcel of exactly what we're talking about tonight. This is the flip side of all of that stuff. We talked about who's in charge. We talked about the invasion. We talked about the gangs. We talked about all the dangers of it. Now we're talking about our part of it, where our society is falling apart and easily falling prey to this, weak and ripe. Our nation is weak, and we are ripe for bending over right now.
Yes, we are.
And that's the whole point of this.
And we are in the fourth turning. I know you don't agree with that.
It's the first time I've ever seen it.
Okay.
First time I've ever seen it. I just want to talk about it.
All right.
I want to read up on it, and then we'll talk about that. Okay. You just introduced me to the idea.
I thought everyone knew about the fourth turning.
No.
Tell you.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.